Welcome back to the mess. So listen, I did a deep dive into this. Marlo Speak on It just dropped. I did a deep dive, so you don't have to, go on and listen to the Speak on It, but I'm going to give you the dramatic reenactment. But also, you guys, Marlo is speaking about a lot of things I already made videos on. In the description box, I'll put a link for Porsha's Instagram Live, Kandi clapping back, Porsha's also response, and also the things that Marlo alluded to in the last 20 minutes of Reunion Part 2 and the Reunion Part 1 and 2 thing. You guys, if you're at work, pop your headphones in. If you got AirPods, even better. Put your hair over your AirPods. If you're a guy, pop your collar up. Go ahead and sink in. It's going to be a hell of a ride. All right, so let's move on. One day I'm going to get the fade, right? One day. All right, here we go. Without further ado, like, subscribe, comment, share. Come on, I'm trying to do this full time. Build me up, build me up, build me up. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you are an OG, welcome back. Okay, let's get into the mess because that's what you guys came for, right? Okay, so it starts off with Marlo and Kandi Speak on It. If you guys have not seen it, Kandi looks really, really good, and so does Marlo. I'll say one thing about Marlo. Wherever she goes, she's just like this fairy that just makes things more beautiful. Say what you want about Marlo, but she keeps people on their top game because you know Marlo's coming on. She's wearing this off-white form fitting. I think she has on like leopard tights. She looks good. And Kandi has on this leather jacket set, which sounds stupid now that I say it out loud, but to look at it, the color looks great. The leather looks great on her skin and her hair. She has this honey blonde hair. It looks really good, okay? Marlo starts, because she knows, smart Aquarius, she's going for that heart that Kandi loves, right? And she's like, yo, I was on here a long time ago with one of my boyfriends, this and that. And she's like, what? When were you on Speak on It? And she's like, no, girl, Kandi cut it nights. And Kandi was like, yo, that's crazy. And then Marlo's like, yeah, we've known each other for a long time. We've been like family. So then Kandi was like, listen, for everybody that don't know, she dated my godbrother. The godbrother is a Taurus. We know that because Marlo made a joke like, yo, is he single? And Kandi was like, well, his birthday's coming up, call him and see. But apparently they've known each other for a while, which makes me think, Marlo said that she went to family dinners with Kandi. And actually makes me think that Kandi has like a bigger influence in Housewives than she lets on, because it seems like every new person is bought on by Kandi. Every new person. Phelan, LaToya. I don't know about Drew. Who bought Drew on? It might have been Kandi though. Pretty much every newbie that's been bought on, they come through Kandi. Tammy, that crazy girl with the blonde hair that had her uncle or nephew tried to beat up Kenya. Anyway, let's get back to this, right? Then Kandi says, but then after that, Marlo got on and shaded the fuck out of me. I guess she was talking about like when she got with NeNe, talking trash about Kandi, this and that, right? And then she talks about, yo, remember that season when you got kicked off? Apparently when they got kicked off, it was a little confusing. Let me know in the comments if I get this wrong. But from what I understood the story to be, Kandi, after Marlo got kicked off, because there was a thing, wanted to make a show called Hot Atlanta. It had gotten greenlit, it had gotten pushed forward, it had gotten all these things. Apparently it didn't get through because Marlo pulled out. And I think she pulled out to come back to Housewives. And Marlo apologized to this. And Kandi was like, listen, it's fine. We've all grown. Money was made. We found a way. But she said, but I was mad because it was greenlit and you pulled out at the last second, right? They then get into, I see what Kandi's doing, right? This is the rebranding of Marlo. Everybody says that if we knew more about Marlo's life, we would want to see Marlo have a peach, right? I just want to see Marlo have a peach because I think she's funny. I like her reads. I like her fashion. Even on the superficial level that they've given us a Marlo, I like her, right? So I'm like, give her a peach. But Kandi's doing this thing trying to see, like, get to know Marlo, right? Marlo talks about, like, Kandi starts saying, listen, Marlo, you have stuff with your mom, with your nephews, with your family members. You're more than just one-dimensional, like, pretty body, pretty face, pretty fashions, right? So then Marlo goes into, like, everything happens for a reason. And, I was raised by my grandmother, God-fearing woman. And when God was like, Marlo, shut up. You know you want that goddamn peach. Stop with your nonsense. God, they always bring in Jesus and stuff to cover up the fact that they lust for earthly desires. Girl, get that damn peach. And you deserve it, right? Then they talk about, her being an aunt and a mom, the sister's relationship. Apparently the sister suffers from mental illness. She took on the blessing. She tries to shield the boys from the bad side of the mental illness with their mom, but also grow for them to love their mom and respect their mom. It sounds like she's doing right. I'm really big on family. I know I probably got some family watching right now, like, but I am. At the end of the day, you have to come together and help, and I'm glad that she's actually stepping up and giving those boys the stability and love that they need. Then they talk about her closet, the way she's doing dresses. She's doing dressing, that closet that Kenya stopped by, that she actually, who is it? Kandi did a big thing about actually letting her promote it on, speak on it. You can go, it's like, if anybody lives in the New York area, or if not, there's this place called Rent the Runway. I don't want to give them free advertising, but there's this place called Rent the Runway where you can rent bags and clothes, right? They say they're designer, but they're like Bloomingdale's, anywhere from Macy's to Bloomingdale's, sometimes up to Saks, right? Marlo's doing that, but she's doing it incredibly high end, and she's also becoming a stylist too. Great for you, right? Then they get back to it, then they get down to the mess, and that's what y'all came here for. All right, let's get into the mess of the night with Bolo, the main event. Y'all ready for this? Woo! Get ready, okay. So Marlo starts off by saying, right, now keep in mind, Marlo is an Aquarius, super, super smart. Porsha is an unevolved Cancer. Okay, fine. So Marlo says that, the next morning, she knew what happened. She didn't say she heard. She said she knew what happened. I'm assuming that in the reunion, watch my reunion part 2 review, right? But she was talking about in the reunion, she was like, had alluded that, well, she didn't allude, she flat out said, you sitting there kicking with the girl that told me your business, but yet you don't want to talk to me, B, right? This was the bomb drop, right? She's talking about Kandi. Kandi came and told everybody that Porsha was like, So anyway, after that, after Marlo found out, she was like, yo, I have notes. I love a good note, right? She was like, yo, text me. We need to talk, right? And she texted her 2 times. Porsha completely ignored her, right? So then she said, so then when I walked down the stairs with Kenya, and Kenya was like, hold on, roll it back, hold it back. Did you text her before or after you walked down the thing with Kenya? So Marlo was like, damn, I can't. And then finally she came out and said, no, it was before. I walked down, right? So then when she walked down, she said that what was crazy was she didn't really even know that Porsha was throwing shade to her. And the look on Porsha's face, that was the funniest look. Porsha was like, the look on Porsha's face, she didn't even know was there until she actually saw the episode. She said Kenya told her, like, yo, she was laying into you. But she was like, yo, you better not be lying, Kenya. Like, I'm not going to go against Porsha just because you said so. So Kenya gave her a heads up that Porsha was hating on them. But Marlo said she kind of didn't believe it until she saw that playback, right? So then they get into it, right? And she was like, oh, but what about the thing with Shamia? And so then she takes a dig at Shamia, and she was like, listen, how can Porsha say she's such a good friend to Shamia when she just be letting the girl come out with her fashion's not looking quite right? And Kandi, because Shamia is Kandi's friend, Kandi brought Shamia to the show. Kandi brings everybody to the show. It's like, yo, hold on. And she's like, now that Coming to America, that woof, woof, woof. She was not looking right. Why would Porsha have her walking out there if she's her friend? I agree with that because honestly, if you're my friend, if you're going to come out looking anyway, and that's what you want, fine. But I'm still going to be like, do you want to maybe, like as a friend, you nicely try to elevate your other friends. Just like if you're my friend, if you see me out there looking crazy, cut to everybody being like, bitch, where your friends at right now? And you looking crazy right now. But if you see me out there looking crazy, help me, elevate me, give me a little, or at least see if I'm comfortable with it. I am that friend that I'll show up in sneakers and sweats when everybody has on ball gowns. I don't care. I'm going to wear what I want. But at least say, hey, I have a gown if you want to wear it. So I can be like, no, I'm cool. Come on, let's go. Wiping ketchup stains off my shirt. Then she was talking about like, but how are you a friend? How Shamia treat her a friend when Porsha is a friend of Shamia when she wants to be? Like when things were going on between Porsha and Shamia and they were going to war. And Porsha, remember I said that unevolved Cancer, very, very good at aligning herself with who she thinks is more powerful. Phaedra is a Scorpio, but she also had a lot of power and clout on her scene. It was against Shamia, her Taurus friend, and she ran toward Phaedra and integrated herself with Phaedra and left Shamea out. Even to the point of when Shamea got married, everybody flew to Africa to actually see the wedding. Porsha made up some lie about she couldn't go. She was sick, some stuff. She didn't go, and didn't go and support her friend, even though she was fine. So that was messed up. I don't understand Shamea and Porsha's friendship, but you know what? It's not for me to understand. I just know it wouldn't be me. I hope I am never Shamea in a friendship, but also I hope I'm never Porsha the way she appears to treat Shamea in the friendship, right? So they're talking about, like, you know, what's going on. And she said, listen, let me just tell you like this, right? Never, my grandmother used to always tell me, never do in public. If you do something in public, it's public info, right? And she said, listen, you can't get mad. I'm going to make this my screen name. She said, you can't get mad if, you know, things you do in public, come out. You can't get mad that people talk about it. You can't be mad. You know, I was trying to be a friend and be like, girl, like, what happened? Why you let that Henny get you so loose? Let's talk about it. Let's get a story. You know, let me let you, I'm going to have your back. But since you want to throw shade and try to cut me out, if you watch my last video, you'll see where she tried to cut her out. Since you want to throw shade, and when you want to, the links will be downstairs. You want to cut me out, you know, don't get mad at me because it wasn't a time to be because you're not the happy Henny hoe anymore. That's going to be my title. The happy Henny hoe. Woo! Listen, they need to give her a peach because for that tag along, it's like, I don't know, she giving me NeNe vibes, right? In the fact that she can really make like a slogan. So she said, don't get mad at me because, you know, you're not the happy Henny hoe anymore and everybody knows, All right, let's get into another part. So now she gets to the meat of things. She said another reason why she feels like she was okay to do this to Porsha is because she put two and two together. They said they showed up at the pumpkin orchard. Shamea attacked her, right? And then she put together with the fact that Portia's not calling her. So, you know, she put two and two together. She's not stupid. She knew what was Porsha was on some bullshit. But then she said, but she's not stupid because somebody had already put her down to the bullshit Porsha does, saying Porsha only texts people when she calls. It's because she only wants something. They had warned her that Porsha is a user. She uses people to get where she wants to go, blah, blah, blah. The whole time, Kandi's like, who told you that? Who told you that? Who told you that? She won't say. But then she immediately switches the subject to NeNe. So I'm guessing, just by making the parallel that Marlo wanted us to make, that she's talking about NeNe, right? And she said, yeah. And by the way, you know, I ride for leaks. No, so she's like, I ride for NeNe Leakes because Kandi was like, a lot of people make this parallel between you and Shamea and Porsha and, you and NeNe and Porsha and Shamea. And NeNe said, and Marlo said, you know what? I own it, right? I ride for Leakes. I will ride for her because you know what? She put money in my pocket. She looked out for me. When my uncle had a funeral, she came and paid for everything, paid for the dinner. She showed me love. The way I was raised, the Marlo was raised to look at money because it seems like that's what she lacked more than anything growing up, right? To look at if somebody gives money and somebody looks out for you, then they are showing love. She's like, she showed for love. She said, and also I know even behind all that, NeNe has a good heart. NeNe has fought for me. Porsha ain't never fight for her to be in a scene. I'm paraphrasing Marlo. Porsha never fought for her to be in a scene. NeNe was like, no, Marlo needs to be in the scene. Marlo needs to come. Marlo fought for her shot in a show. And she was like, listen, Porsha never did that for me. And I don't think Porsha. And the funny thing is, I touched on this in my other video. Y'all check it out. It'll link there. But Porsha never fought for her. She said NeNe put thousands in her pocket. And then Kandi's like, well, are y'all still friends? And she was like, yeah, we're still friends. I mean, not as close as we used to be, but I figured since she left, she needed time to herself. When her aunt passed away, I texted her. I've been there for her. You know, we got close again, and she's back. Did you see her posting on Instagram with the leopard? NeNe is back. She needed some time alone. And this is an Aquarius knowing her Saggy friend. Sometimes when Saggies get really upset, whether they are right about being upset or not, they need time alone, right? So she said, you know, I got a lot of love for her. She asked Kandi, are y'all following each other? And Kandi's like, and you know, and this is the one part that annoys me about Marlo. She's so fake. Marlo's so smart. she looks real dumb trying to play stupid. You know, oh, you and Nene, y'all, why don't you didn't see that? You've not followed her? And she's like, I don't think so. And Marlo's like, oh, hell, y'all fell out? Yo, y'all need to get back together. Marlo, you know they fell out. You know Nene talks shit about Kandi. You know they ain't never like each other. That's the thing, Marlo, it's like Kenya playing stupid. Sometimes you are too smart to play stupid for anybody to believe anything you're saying. So Kandi's like, you know, she starts talking about her relationship with Nene. This is kind of encouraging. I don't know if Kandi is doing this because it's a show or she actually meaning it, but she literally says, hold on, I got it. I bought this Glossier balm.com. Dumbest thing I ever bought because it's like, I think it's just petroleum jelly, but maybe not. Maybe it has some other stuff in it because it feels good on the hands. Let me stop talking trash about this. Anyway, Kandi goes on to say, you know, the shit between her and Nene, which is some stupid stuff. She's over it. Maybe Kandi means it because I know Tauruses can sometimes be unforgiving when they're unevolved, but Kandi's evolved and she's successful. Also, if you forgave Porsha that many times, it makes sense that you would forgive Nene too. So it is kind of in line. So Marlo's like, listen, don't worry, Pete. This after she called her a user, you know, and she said, don't worry, you'll be back around. I know you will. And she said, and I'm mad because you a good time. You a good time, Pete, right? Throwing shade. Yes. Not the happy henny hoe, right? And she said, but she was mad at her at the reunion. She wanted to walk up to her and be like, just stop, right? Because she said, no matter what Porsha says, everything changed. Everything changed. Then, as she said, up until that morning of the Charleston, right? She was texting her every single night, multiple times. Porsha would be in her room getting her makeup done, laying on her bed, borrowing clothes. She said even the outfit Shamia was wearing was one of the outfits that she had borrowed from Marlo. And she said, like, the next day, she was like, and I called it in my other video I did. She said the next day, she was like, yo, you know, you kissing butt like you're Kandi's best friend. And because she don't want you to tell on her. I knew it. I knew that's what's happened, right? And she said, and now nobody was in the room picking up earrings. So she was still low-key calling Porsha and Shamia users. Because it's like when I could do something for you, when you wanted to be around, you would come around and take what I had. And now that you think I'm at Kenya's, you don't want anything like that. Now, she makes an interesting point that even slipped by me, right? That night before her and Kenya made up, Porsha's at the table being like, Marlo wants to be your friend, be your friend. Remember, she was advocating for Porsha and Kenya. I'm sorry, for Marlo and Kenya to make up. And she was in her confessional. There's something in Marlo that yearns to be Kenya's friend. And I don't know why Kenya's doing this. You did all that. And then the next day, Marlo is like, you're right, let's squash this beef, and you're mad as hell. That just goes to show how phony Porsha was trying to be, and the way Porsha literally, I think, had a plot to get Kenya off the show, even like making it look like Kenya is being mean to Marlo. That was going to be another storyline, but because allegedly Marlo had Nene in her ear being like, yo, watch out for Porsha. She's a user. She only comes around when she needs somebody. And I think she was low-key warning Kandi too. Watch out. She's a user. She's an abuser. That it all comes together and makes sense. All right. So Kandi's doing another deep dive. She's like, so why did you decide to be friends with Kenya? And I don't know. She seemed believable to me. I think she was just tired. It's the pandemic. She needs to make a way for her family. I don't shade it at all. Y'all act like we are watching true people that are actual friends and you're inside. This is all TV. There are power moves. People are jockeying for position. There is a lot of money at stake. And I really don't know how good of friends anybody really is. And like Kandi said, why is everybody so weirded out with you and Kenya moving forward and being friends? Where Porsha, remember when they were in Spain? Porsha and Marlo used to go at it. So it's like, if that could be salvaged, why not? Marlo says basically, listen, it's a pandemic. She just wanted to move on. Her and Kenya have been going back and forth 4 years. It's always back and forth. And she's like, listen, if there's a chance to salvage this relationship, I'm just tired. Let me just put an olive branch out here. And she takes it. And we know Kenya took it. Now, let's not forget Marlo's not stupid, neither's Kenya. At that time, on the thing, she saw the way everybody, even at that time, it seemed like Kandi was turning against her. So that was pretty smart of Marlo to actually extend an olive branch when Kenya really was on an island of her own making, because Porsha made sure nobody came near that island and was doing that emotionally manipulative thing, right? So that was smart of Marlo to take that opportunity, but also maybe there is some truth that Marlo actually wanted to just squash the beef and be cool with everyone and try to maybe take a Cynthia role, you know? And there's like all this real footage of Kenya and Marlo through the years, you know, her talking to Sheree being like, Kenya ain't invite me, what's going on? But then also Kenya hugging Marlo and comforting her to show that they've had their ups and downs, right? And then it shows when Porsha was at the niece's party and was like, I just don't want you to be friends with Kenya, And Marlo was like, you're not regulating me, Porsha, I'll do what I want. Porsha does have power and control problems, but like any good evolved Cancer knows, if you really want to have power over somebody, you don't let them know, bitch, I run you, right? You literally just, you know how evolved Cancers pull, y'all evolved Cancers know what I'm talking about. Pull the strings, but you pull them gently. Porsha came in like NeNe, like I run you, and not even NeNe would have the nerve to tell someone I run you and you better be friends with who I tell you to be with, you know? At the end of the day, Marlo is an Aquarius and she does what she wants. She also said that like Porsha at one time invited her into her world with no cameras, like we cook and come by again. And then for her to be through that, you know, Marlo's there, helps style, does whatever. And she felt like Porsha just basically used her and cast her out of heaven when she wouldn't do what she wanted. And then Marlo says, you know, my dad did that to me, my mom did that to my sister, did. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. So she put the walls up, right? She put the walls up. So, Kandi delves a little bit deeper into like, tell me about your relationship with Kenya. And she's like, listen, we're just really good energy. We live 5 minutes apart. You know, do we talk every day? No, but we talk enough. If I need some sugar, I can stop by. I'm closer to her in Brooklyn. We're in a really, really good place. So that's when like, also you see Kandi's like, I really do think that Kandi is like this maternal, I don't know. Again, I don't know any of these people, but the more and more I hear about in behind the scenes, the way Kandi tries to pull everybody together instead of kind of ripping them apart. Porsha seems like she likes to triangulate so she can be the center of attention. Kandi seems like she gets her power, again, from putting people together. She said that even at one point, Marlo says even at one point, before Kenya and her made up, Kandi sent them both like this message or something that Marlo said was like really good, touched her heart, all this stuff. It was super emotional. And Kandi was the one saying like, you guys, I'm reading my notes, you guys are two Aquariuses. You guys are super similar. You guys had similar things. Why don't you guys like each other? And Kandi looks like she went out of her way to try to get them to become friends. So, you know, I talk a lot of trash saying it seems like Kandi doesn't really ride out for Kenya. But again, maybe this is what the producers actually get us to see, because behind the scenes, Kandi seemed like she was trying to make everything right and fix everything. Now she does an Andy Cohen thing, Kandi. She pulls her phone out and she's like, so-and-so, Charles from North Carolina wants to know, you know, if NeNe was around, do you think you still would have mended things with Kenya? Y'all, the rebrand is complete. Marlo's like, absolutely, I think that's a lie, but let's go with it. Let's go with what you say, because NeNe's not here. I have no choice but to believe, right? Even as much as y'all say I be down on Porsha, I give people opportunities. Are you going to tell me the truth? Are you going to lie? Like, but I'll give you an opportunity to do either. She was like, oh, you know, I think what the issue is I since I've become a mom, you know, I've learned I need to be a better example, and it's given me a lot of strength. It's like she starts talking so lovingly about our nephew, Michael, saying he wants to be an actor, but he's shy, and she teaches them how to stand 10 toes down. And she's saying just being a mom realizes that she doesn't have time for this petty shit, and we all need to be together. And it's like, fine, you don't gotta be cool with her, but I need peace in my life. Like she said, are her and Kenya best friends? No, but she needs peace in her life, and that's what she got. Except for those hounds of hell that Porsha is sending. Anyway, let's move on to the relationship with Samia. And then Porsha shades her, Shamia, by showing a clip of the girl from Coming to America walking in. You know, it was pretty funny. So Marlo starts explaining what the issue is with Shamia. She's making the jokes like bark like a dog, which is a double entendre because she looks like the girl from Coming to America, and she's following her like her name was Prince Hakeem. I think that was his name from Coming to America, right? So then she's like, what's your beef with Shamea? So then Marlo was like, let me tell you something. I love Shamea, and I think Shamea loves me. But when Porsha started coming for me, that's when everything changed. So then Kandi was like, well, hold on. Because when me and Porsha weren't cool, Shamea was cool with me. And when Kenya and Porsha weren't cool, Shamea's cool with Kenya. So if it really was about Porsha, it doesn't make any sense. But then Marlo brings up a good point. Yeah, but you're Kandi and you're Kenya and I'm Marlo. So I feel like she felt like she needed, like, I wasn't as high up as you guys, right? I wasn't as high up as you guys. So that's the reason why she felt like, okay, well, I can be mean to somebody. Basically saying that Shamea is a status social climber. And she literally, you know, BS'd on Marlo because Porsha was higher up and Porsha wanted her to align with her. But had she been Kandi or Kenya, she would have shown her more respect, right? So then Kandi's like, well, hold on. Let me get the little backstory for what's happening. Kandi's defending Shamea low-key because she's like, I thought you liked Tauruses. Girl, stop. Anyway, she was like, Shamea's a Taurus, by the way, if anybody couldn't tell by the luxury she drinks herself with and her marrying that rich man. She is Fallon, but Fallon done right, I guess, because Fallon's getting divorced. Okay, but she said that, yeah, remember we were in South Carolina and you came for Shamea saying you slept with all of Africa and basically calling stuff Shamea, whatever. Marlo's quick to correct her. It's like, listen, I know you're getting old, but your memory's a little off. What actually happened was I said, damn, Shamea, it's not like I effed your man. I haven't done anything to you. What's your problem? Why are you coming at me, right? And Kandi was like, yeah, that's right. You did say that. So she never called Shamea a hoe. She said, oh, so then Shamea clapped back at her. What? F my man, you can never, because he would never, you know, basically calling her like broke down and whatnot. And Marlo responded back, if he F'd you, he would definitely F me. So please don't get it twisted. So they had a little thing, you know, like you act like I slept with your man. Shamea was like, he would never with the likes of you. She was like, girl, if it was you, it would be me all day. And that's where their falling out came to be. Okay. She let some tea out with Shamea's man. I don't know what was behind that, but she was like, yo, she also told Shamea, like, I had the text message, be quiet before I pull out some tea, because I had the text message between me, you, and Porsha for Barcelona. I don't know if her man was creeping. I don't know if her man was cheating. I don't know if her man was pushing up on Marlo, but she had some type of tea that she told Shamea, I'm sending you a cease and desist unless you want to see, you want the world to know what happened on text message. Okay, so that was kind of way to make a long story even longer, right? I'm almost done, y'all, okay? To make it even long story even longer, you know, Marlo was just upset at the fact that Shamea was kind of calling her dirty scum, triggered her because of all the stuff that she went through in foster care and with her father, making her feel unwanted. Yes, Marlo built that backstory, make the people want to see more of you to get a peach. I'm for it. I want to see Marlo, but I think Marlo deserves one anyway. From the day when her and Sheree got into an argument in South Africa, I was like, give that girl a peach. I love her. So anyway, she was like, yo, do you think you and Shamea will ever be cool? And she was like, honestly, not as long as Portia's around, because Shamea is scurrying up to Porsha. That's where our beef comes from. Outside of that, you know, to be clear, she's trying to make it seem like I said I would sleep with her man. I would never do that. I have respect for myself. I have so much. That's not what I meant. I was just clapping back, right? So then they get into, then she's like, okay, well, we're going to have to go into Speak on It part 2. Y'all, there's gonna be a part 2, right? But I really want to see that part 2 because they do a teaser where Marlo was like, yeah, you know, I understand it's new to you. You're just getting money. You were married. You got, no, she was like, I built my money. You had to wait till you got married to get money. Then you lost it. Now you're rebuilding yourself. But my name has always been Money Low. I've always been here, you know? So she's like, I can see how Porsha would. So the next Speak on It, it seems like Marlo is going to go for the jugular with Porsha, and I can't wait. I can't wait for it. So I'll keep y'all updated for part 2. Here's part 1. I watched it, so you didn't have to, but go on and support Speak on It, of course. But if you don't want to, I'll watch this shit so you don't have to. Okay, bye.